Hello, everybody. We are back. It is year 13. I am Brian. This is Football Manager 22, and we're here in Salisbury. Uh, Obviously, it's not 13 years of having played the game, it's 13 years in game. And we're back on our favorite club vision screen with our very secured job. Still only being given a B rating, which I feel is, not very rear looking. Like, I didn't just take a team from the seventh tier to the Premier League, and just last year took us to the Europa Conference League finals. You know, but we've played a few games this year. Not many, two to be exact. Getting in the summer update and the uh, European update, I guess, going forward, anyways. So they're pleased with how we're playing. We're on payroll budget. Uh, Apparently, they're pleased we're doing this, though. You'll see how it's a bit questionable. They're reserving judgment on everything as we still have to do it. How did we change the team? In terms of incoming, not much. In terms of outgoing, a lot. So, at the end of last year, technically, though, starting this year, we did go ahead and make the move for Sebastian Johansson out of Denmark. He will be our first choice keeper going forward. 18 years old, 3.5 stars current ability, 4, maybe 5 stars potential fully. Just 18. Perfectionist personality, so got lots around to develop. We will, for now, we are keeping Messin. We shipped out. I'm going to need to know next year to get the. Yes. We shipped out Ezekiel Zondi. He was unhappy he wasn't featured enough, so he wasn't getting capped for his national team anymore because he was riding the bench too much. We didn't make any cup runs where we faced bad teams where we felt safe to sub him in because we kept losing the first game of our cup runs, and we just weren't. It was just our second year as an established Premier League team, so I didn't feel super comfortable swapping him in on smaller games. So we sent him to Majorca, which is, a La Liga side. Hopefully he does start for them. It only cost them $500,000, so I think it was a good deal for them, and a reasonable deal for us. We're letting Kamari Doyle go on a free. He's a 2-star player, 28, just no longer key part of the team, but guy we'll always love. We loaned out Gwynfor Griffiths. We shipped out Baba Uda to Olympiakos. The Greek teams in the Greek league love my players for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. Olympiakos paid $17.5 million for Baba Uda. Again, with Dudarev coming in, he was being pushed back to 6th in the attackingers rotation, and that just meant he wasn't going to be playing. Thomas Green, now 23, kind of ending at the top of his developmental curve. 2.5-star player, maybe a little room to grow, but not much. Frankly, I'd just rather use his playing time to develop more players or find players who are better now. We got $9 million to send him to Krylja Sovetov in Russia, in the Russian Premier Liga. We sent Vladimir Ivanov home. He'd been out on loan a couple years. He just never really developed into anything special. We bought him from Ludogorets for $2 million. We shipped him back to Ludogorets for 2.5, and that that 0.5 million we made, $500,000 we made, was probably wiped out in salary. So net completely even. He got 2 years to actually he played at Ludogorets the year on loan, and then he got a year to spend at Nottingham Forest to diversify himself before coming back to Ludogorets, and will assuredly be a starter there. He is someone who lists Ludogorets as his favorite team, so happy he's happy. Ethan Catley is on loan at Dover. He's just one of our 16-year-old prospects. We sold David Soucek for $13 million to AEK, and again in the Greek league. He was the Czech player who we bought out of the second division of the Czech league, which meant he didn't have a work permit for us. We weren't able to even get him a loan that was would help him in that regard. We sent him to Jablonec. They didn't play him. We sent him to Copenhagen. He got injured. And then last year we couldn't get him any loans on the continent, so we just lent him to Ipswich. He played all right for him. His his peak abilities kind of faded, or our team's gotten that much better that he doesn't have that super elite peak. He's a 22, and under my rules, I can't play him. So it just made sense to move him on. $13 million, we bought him for, I believe, $1 million. So just a nice profit there, padding the bank balance. We loaned out David O'Reilly, who is a youth prospect on our side. We loaned out Esteban Aguilar, a regular for the Costa Rican national team. 2-star, was like 4.5, now is 3 with a maybe 4. So again, overall talent level of this team's fading. Is allegedly worth 25 to 29 million. I believe we extended his contract. He's an interesting player who we will probably sell on for some money later. And then Callum Monroe, who is again a 3-star player with who basically capped out his development. It seemed like 3 stars with maybe a half-star sliver available. Coming off a couple years of loan in Wigan the first year, and then in Olympiacos last year, and played at both of those levels very well. So he played in the championship solidly, and he played in the Greek Super League at a very good level. So going back to the Greek Super League, he should be well equipped to play well and earn himself another contract. But for us, he was a very average player at the championship level. So I didn't anticipate him making the jump well. And so then we have loaned out Marcos Torres to Barnsley. He is our big Argentinian, 6'7", who is listed as a right back, but he's really center back because he's 6'7", and doesn't really have any dribbling or crossing ability. Other teams who apparently don't need any offense out of their right back, including Barnsley, have been playing there. But 2.5 stars, and maybe up to 5 stars, 4. This just seems wrong to me. Like, these are better than that, but we'll see. Barnsley is in the championship. He was technically eligible for EPL in my rules under having played for Boca, which was in the Copa Libertadores group stage and beyond. So I guess we achieved the spend your initial transfer budget by still having a transfer budget by selling off 10 $30, $40 million worth of players, a little more than that, about 45. We spent about $70 million on Onur Terzi. Hopefully the down arrows are just a very temporary thing as he's just fitting in. We purchased him for Real Madrid, so obviously it was going to cost a pretty penny. I just really, really liked what I saw. He hopefully still has developmental curve despite being 21 through like 23s to get him up into a solid 4-star type player. But his physicals are just really, really good. Good pace and acceleration despite being a center midfield for us. Great natural fitness, agility, balance, bravery, leadership. The only thing that he doesn't have in yellow or green in his mentals is flair. So he's not a sexy player, but he makes good plays because he got 16 first touch, 16 passing, 16 technique. Ball comes in, ball goes out smoothly. He can dribble, he's got 14 dribbling. He can even play some defense, 13 marking, 11 tackling. So he's not just all attack as a center midfielder. I really think he is better than his 3-star current ability lists. We got him for $70 million, up to 86 on deals. I believe that was 55 up front, 15 over the next 3 years, and $5 million chunks. $6 million if he plays 50 games for us. $5 million if he scores 10 goals, which he will do. He's already scored 2. He's at 11 penalty taking. He's already like our second best penalty taker. So we've already scored 2 penalties, and he's taken them both. And I think another $5 million probably for Turkish caps, but again, he's already got 17 caps. He's probably going to get another 5 or 10 or whatever I set it at. We made a budget play of buying Fabio Lentini here from Australia. He's already got 6 caps for the Australian national team. We lent him back to Wellington Phoenix, where he was playing for the rest of the year. 2.5 stars, 4 and a potential 5th star. A bit undersized at 5'5", but 15 pace and acceleration. The holy trinity of dribbling, finishing, first touch, 17, 14, 16 is great. 13 passing is very solid. There's some things he's not good at, but it seems like he's a very good striker. His value, obviously, since his purchase, has jumped from like $1 million he was to 42 to 49. So yeah, we are gonna have to figure out a way to the caps, right? Despite that, again, in real life it's questionable because Australia isn't highly rated enough to really get you much in the way of points. In our rules it is, again, to simplify things. Unfortunately, Sergei Dudarev tore his calf about a week in front of the season, and it put him out 3 to 4 months, so he should be back for the second half of the season. But having sold Uda, having sold Monroe, though Monroe wouldn't really have been the answer, we needed to fill that spot in the rotation. So luckily we noticed that Liverpool was trying to loan out one of their strikers, so we paid him less than $1 million and agreed to pay most of his salary for the next 4 months to cover. Again, seems like a solid player, but he's obviously going to be backing up Marcelino Marin full time. But hopefully we'll get him subbed in when we can to keep Marin's legs fresh. We have a new affiliate, ironically, Liverpool FC in Uruguay in the first division. I should try to renegotiate that at some point to improve our scouting there, but for now, we might get Uruguayan youngsters in our youth camp from them. And we set up our affiliation with Vojvodina in the same way, which it hadn't been before, so they might send youth players from Serbia to us. We still do not have a U18 team, despite the fact that we are now a level 3 youth team. And our stadium finished. We're back in Salisbury Stadium, now 29,831 seats. We don't actually have a game today, but I stopped here because it's time for the Europa League group stage draw, and I figured I would show this. So we are in the third group. We have the EPL's differential and our finish last year, which I'm not even sure that's being factored in. They feel like it drops the lowest and maybe highest that you have in your group or in your last 5 years. But anyways, so the top 8 teams are pretty scary, other than say maybe PSV. The others are all just big 5 teams. 1 English club, 2 Italian clubs, 2 German clubs, 2 French clubs. So we're gonna fill those out. West Ham, Lazio, Marseille, Frankfurt, PSV, Inter Milan, Lille, and RB Leipzig, our arch nemesis. The group here is the group I'd really consider us to be in. Espanyol in La Liga, Braga, Kiev, Moscow, Rangers, Dynamo. 3 different Dynamos. How fun. So let's fill out these groups. Obviously, Group 1 looking a bit scary there with the double Big 5 leagues. I don't think we can get drawn into that due to West Ham being there, so that's good for us. And obviously, Sturm Graz makes Group E look all the more attractive because they feel like one of the weaker second stage teams. So Red Star Belgrade will go into Group A. Rough draw for them. Lazio and Dynamo Kiev. Kiev is pretty highly rated in the group. Antwerp will draw there. Marseille and Fenerbahce from Turkey. And that'll be Linfield in Northern Ireland. There's a pretty steep drop, I feel like, between the few teams up, maybe the Turkish team and the Belgian team, and Red Star and us. And then you get down to like Maribor and Linfield, and it's kind of a drop off there. Frankfurt Rangers. I would feel comfortable with this group, but it goes to HJK in Finland. Now, this is a group we really want to get drawn into. This seems like the weakest, but it'll be Maribor. Inter and Braga. Of the remaining 3, I think I'd choose Lille and Dynamo, and then Inter and Braga, and lastly Leipzig and Moscow. I'm tired of Leipzig after we played them 3 times last year. But, they're just going to have to promote that rivalry, right? No, okay. Lille and Dynamo. We kind of get our wish. And then we have Swiss team. Bayer Leverkusen's down here. That's a little surprising. Astana, Alaves, Krasnodar, Sparta Prague, PSC Zwolle, Brann. Mostly we obviously want to avoid Leverkusen, despite the fact that they don't have much of a differential. You never know what a top 5 league team will have. Zwolle's in the first group, Leverkusen, okay, so we dodged them. Yeah, I'm pretty much fine with facing these other teams. Brann into Group C, Krasnodar into Group D, Prague into Group E, St. Gallen into Group F, which leaves us Astana from the Kazakhstani League, or Alves from the Spanish League. So I guess on that same principle, I want to avoid Alaves, but their differential being so low. What is going on with you guys? I mean, they're consistently a top team, or kind of a middle tier team. I must want a cup to get in. But we luck out when we get Astana, so much happier about that. All right, so that is the Europa Group League stage, and then we will hopefully race forward. Yep, a bunch of games had to get rescheduled to get in this game. He keeps training great. Could he be more perfect? I love you, Sebastian. Against Newcastle. I guess I haven't gone over results yet. I will flip back real quick here after this simulation. So it's been 2 games. We beat Bournemouth 3-0 on the road, and we beat Arsenal 2-0 at home. That's obviously a big game. Arsenal is usually a top 4, top 5 team. Owner scored a penalty in the 69th minute. It was super obvious and legitimate, and Hurleman got a header off of a kind of a redirected corner in the 82nd. They got a guy sent off in 90+2. Didn't really matter. Let's see who we got replaced. We're on a slight rotation here. We played the exact same starting 11 in both the first 2 games because we had a full week between them. We had a full week till this one, but I just do want to get some other guys fit. We are headed into an international window after this. So given our team construction, yes, we have a bunch of people on international duty. It says only 8, but I just feel like, yeah, there we go. We are going to have more and more come in the next 2 days. Costa Rica, Jamaica, Australia, Syria, all calling their players out. So Messin, Aguilar, McAvoy, Lentini, Zabibi, all out on loan. They want me to make changes. I will not. I'm going to play Marin up top. I'm going to play Owner at right wing. Again, another thing about him is positionally flexible. Obviously, we envision him playing mostly in the middle, but he can play defensive midfield. He can play left wing. He can play right wing. He can play attacking mid-left, kind of. He'd have to work on it a little, but I'm happy with the positional flexibility of 3 positions I play. He'd been playing with Ozan. I want to get McAvoy in and Chekatani in particular in. Zabibi had played at left back the last couple games, and so I'm getting Matei in there. Torres had played, so Hurleman, who came in as a sub and scored, we're going to start him. And Nusa had been on the bench for Garcia. Garcia did actually pick up a minor injury, so good excuse to have him sit anyways. But that does mean some of them are less than sharp because they've been sitting a bit. And so, we might they might not get the guys who are in. Matea. He's always nervous, and then when he gets on the pitch, he's aggressive. Plays fine, but mentality, we are on the road up in Newcastle upon Tyne, and it looks like we're starting in our blue kits. We're starting with the ball. We are starting with our blue kits. Saying that doesn't mean anything because we're not going to change into our white kits at halftime or anything. We are actually... I was very scared he was just going to chip Johansson. And luckily he decided to unsuccessfully square the keeper. Matea to Chekatani, back to Nagankum. Up to Owner, pings it to McAvoy, pings it to Marin, back heels it to Nusa, plays it across to Owner. Owner with a run down the sides, looking for a cross. No, low. Maybe almost a penalty, but we will keep possession with Petkov on the outside. Petkov into Owner. Up to Nagankum. Well, more back. Out to Nusa, takes a shot, bounces off a defender, and we're going the other way. It looks like Capoon will stabilize it for us. Anyways, where was I? Yeah. Dangerous. Looks like Phil wants me to press one of their wingers. Our history with Newcastle. It popped up recently that we are 0-4-1 against Newcastle in our last 5. So we would love to break that streak and get a positive result on the board against them and continue this hot streak where technically we lead the EPL with 2 wins, which not many other teams actually have. I think it might be us and Southampton, and that's it. We can check that. League table. Sorry, Southampton's on 5 points. It's Fulham and Chelsea, who also had 2 initial wins and are on current draws. Ball's played up to Chekatani, who does have a yellow card. Ball's played to Nusa, intercepted, but not maintained. Nusa does get back on it. Ball's then out to Petkov, who plays it to McAvoy. Crossed into Marin. Header saved by Fernández. They want me to mark Vidovic. Seems reasonable. They dispossess Nagankum, but Chekatani gets it back on it. Passing through the midfield and out to Onur. Lays it forward to Marin, who's on a break. Unfortunately, the defender's on him, right on his hip pocket, and gets played over the keeper, but he parried it over the top, which means we will take the corner with Nusa. Header, Hurleman looks for it, can't quite find it, can't repeat his performance. Ball's played up to Nusa, and there the flag went up. Again, you gotta get back. Let's give the boys... Oh, this is dangerous. But they can't get it on frame. And this is where we will encourage, as we usually do. Hurleman's now on a yellow card. I don't think we have the boys on tackle hard, so the official's just calling a tight game, and or we're being a bit grabby. Noose up to Marin. Didn't really take an opportunity off of that kick, which is then we squander possession when they dispossessed Marin and just drove the other way. So that's disappointing. You got to take your chances when you can get them. They bomb it the other way. Van Orst has a one-on-one, but at such an angle that Johansson can easily handle it. But they will get a corner out of the affair. Aston Villa up, nothing on Manchester United. Clump of bodies in the middle. Ball's headed out the other side. They try and cross in. We win the header again. Lamptey there. Plays across to Van Orst, but Matea handles it relatively easily. They are beating us pretty handily on XG 1.14 to 0.57. That mostly gets the boys in the right state of mind. And hey, Juan Matea is even motivated now briefly. It probably won't last, but hopefully that'll infect his performance with enthusiasm. They play the ball long. Capoon easily heads it back to Johansson to reinitiate the play for us. I'm just going to kind of chill here. They have someone off sides. Lamptey, who had picked up his yellow card. Chekatani plays it forward, looking for Onur on the wing. I would have liked it playing shorter for Marin. I think he had an opportunity there if he laid it in perfectly, but maybe he was trying and just kicked it hard. You know, it's not an easy pass to make. We're on the race back. Hurleman does a good enough job given the low percentage shot there. Looks like he's going to be kicking an outbreaker here. Lamptey goes through everything. Onur is the first one on it. Love to see that. Initiating a break. Plays it up to Marin, who lays it back to Onur. Unfortunately, he doesn't feel comfortable settling on it with a defender nearby. And kind of lumps it forward to Marin, but easily grabbed up by the defender. Nagankum slide tackle. And we initiate attack. Great series of passes. Unfortunately, Marin lets his defender get in the way when his first touch is not amazing. And squanders a chance of, I believe it was McAvoy making a bit of a run up from his center mid position. Apparently Mateo was offsides. Yeah, this seems like a fair No, let's actually move Petkov in and change him to ball-playing defender. And then let's bring in Maric. Torres is old. He's good, but let's get the young guy in to continue his development. He started the last 2 games as defensive midfield, I believe. But let's keep him playing. And it lets us move Petkov in and maybe have a more creative player at center back to make slightly better passes to open things up at the beginning of our attacks. I play it all the way back to the keeper, who does a very good job of picking out Fove for a pass. And we have Petkov back. Oh. Well, I mean, what can you do about that? Guy plays the ball, like, retreats from the defender, turning his back to the goal, and then 180s it. Okay, not as bad as turning his back completely, but, like, a full retreat step, and then just, lashes it. Fine. Now it wants me to take Petkov out. Anyways, and I guess I will. He is the most tired of all the players. So we'll switch back to a normal central back. Torres is good. Still doesn't have the distribution of Petkov. Then who else? Chekatani's losing sharpness, so you could probably just use the game time. I don't think it's bad enough that warrants not playing him. Noosa's playing pretty lousy. Let us bring in Garcia for him and see if that can spark the attack. We'll move to attacking to try and get a goal and try and grab a point out of this affair. Vidovic looking back post. Angelo plays over the top. Johansson initiates up to Torres. Dribble it out of the box. Not a super hard press from there. Up to Maric, who has already picked up a yellow card in 20 minutes of action. Up to Marin. Pivots. Plays to McAvoy, making a little bit of a run. Gankum owner. Taps to Marin. Unfortunately, Marin, again, just not great positioning. Ball does get to Garcia in a good position, but doesn't make a outstanding attempt with it and is easily wrapped up by the goalkeeper. Moving to attacking, we should be applying a bit more pressure, on their holding here, as they are pretty content to just kind of pass it about and not... Well, there goes the attacking play. Looking for Vidovic. Torres does a good job of coming in and cutting it out. '87th. Come on, boys. Let's find the header here. Nope. All right, now we're very attacking. Less than 3 minutes left. I just love showing you guys losses. I mean, we didn't lose that much during the year, and I'm pretty sure everything up until the finals was wins. But your last memory of me was losing to Leipzig, and now after 2 wins, I decided to show you a loss. It's jinxing. Terrible jinxing. Looks like we've got 4 minutes of stoppage time. It's possible we find our goal, but we need the ball to do so. So we need to get on them and dispossess them and create that opportunity for ourselves. Marin does retreat a decent amount of ways to try and get a body on a body. They make an attacking pass, and we do intercept it. And now we're going to start some offense. Herlin, Matea. Garcia does get back for it. Garcia, a bit of a loop-de run, but eventually there, over to McAvoy. There wasn't much space there. Ball played forward to Marin. For a brief moment, he had it, but trying to like play it to his dominant foot allowed the defender to get back and kind of close off the better angle. Corner over the top. He's just going to burn the clock. Vidovic skies it. I'm glad he kind of went quickly there relative to what he could have, it felt like. All right. One last glorious attacking play. Garcia kind of dribbles himself into a corner. Defenders both sides. Ball gets to Cekatani up to Marin. Turns back. Finds McAvoy making a run. Just does not have the legs at this point. And maybe not the pace ever, but certainly at this point in the game, it was close whether he would be the first one there. Marin bombs it forward looking for Garcia. There's still time on the clock, just barely. Garcia into Marin. Little tapper. Well, we improved our XG at the end. Was not a glorious performance in that they had a fair amount of attempts. It is annoying that Vidovic converted on their least likely of all attempts, it seemed like. But that's going to happen when you get enough attempts. Offensively, we did well. We just didn't get in there. Obviously, I'd prefer playing Onur into the center midfield. We were a bit rotated today, like I said, so usually Zabibi would be a left back. Torres and Kapun would be the center back combination, though Kapun did start. Petkov, Niganka might be Maric. Onur and Ozan would be the two center midfielders. Garcia would start as opposed to Nusa, who had a terrible day. Marin up top with probably Juan over there, so... it is what it is. We're still in decent shape. It's plenty of time to play more soccer. So this is where we currently stand after just 3 games. 6 points, which is fine, especially with the win over Arsenal. Now, obviously, they're sitting down here, which is a little unexpected, but I'm sure they'll rectify that as things go through the season. So, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you see what I see in Onur Terzi, our new center mid, to pair with our other Turkish center mid. And Johansson, our 2 big acquisitions this year. And we will see how we go with our Europa League starting here in the next month. First game against Dynamo. Then, just a overall busy month. 3 Premier League games, 2 Europa League games, EFL Cup game, and FA Youth Cup game. Though, obviously, we don't care all about that. So, thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to hear from you. If not, don't hesitate to subscribe, to like, all of those delightful things. I hope you have a very lovely day, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.